Hi everyone, welcome back. So this is the second part of our colour along in this gorgeous book, The Night Before Christmas. Now when we left last time we'd done everything that you see here, but I hadn't done this bit of hair, and I talked about putting black in it. Now I have done that, but my concern was that I was losing the sketchiness of the page. So all I've done is just done it very, very slightly darker than his beard. So if we go in, let's zoom in and we'll do that part that's left together so you can see how I did it. Okay, there he is. So gorgeous. Move my junk out of the way. Okay, so same colours as we did yesterday. I am going to go in with my Faber-Castell Polychromos again, and we're using Warm Grey 1. Refocus. So just the same as we did with his beard, no different. I'm putting a base of this warm grey down. Just a word of warning, folks. I'll just move the page up while I'm doing it. Just here, look, my book has started to come apart, so just be very careful with it. It's obviously quite a delicate book. Oh, let me get them back in the shot. Yeah, and I did find that although the paper loves the polychromos very much, and they work very well, as you can see on the paper, when I was doing the beard and darkening it up to sort of kind of match the hair because it looked a bit odd, and I'm going to show you how I did that, the paper began not to want to take any more. So I had put a lot of layers on it though. So just be aware when you're putting your base colours down on that, just a nice light hand. Okay. So I'm going to go in now with Cold Grey 6, that is. Exactly the same as we did yesterday. We're going to go over the dark bits. Yeah, and I decided not to, I have put some black in it, but not too much, because I don't want to, like I said yesterday, I don't want to lose the sketchiness of this gorgeous image. I like the way it's drawn. If you want to cover that up, then, you know, just keep going over it if your pencils will allow, if the paper will allow rather. I think your best bet is the polychromos because they do layer better than most pencils, but to be fair, I've got quite a bit of pencils in my stash, as you'll know, and I haven't tried them all. So we could experiment on the front cover. We could do, you know, Derwent Artist. We've got Colour Soft, Prismas, Black Widows, which I'm sure they would all work well, but you just have to be cautious with your fill that in deep. Just have to be cautious with your layers. I don't want that to put anybody off because they are working extremely well. It's just something to be mindful of. When you're filling your image in. I'm just going to come back round here. Bring that out a bit. And I'm just finding it's such a pleasure to colour in this little book. It's so lovely. And this little image I thought was perfect for us and our colour along, so that we're not spending 5 hours putting an image together, say. Okay. Just deepening up any areas that we've been given. That we know should be dark. Okay, so that was our grey. That was our Cold Grey 6, and then we're going to go in with Cold Grey 4. There we go. And same as we did yesterday, we're going to fill that in. well, bring that grey out, leaving a gap in the centre where the very, very pale grey goes. I'm filling a little bit more in than I did on his beard, just so there's a little bit of, you know, it's a subtle difference, but there is a little bit of difference between his hair and his beard. But I decided against putting, you know, great swathes of black in it because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to lose that sketchiness. Right, so now we're going to go in with our black. So I've got quite a sharp point, and I'm going to pick out the darkest areas only and just fill those in. So there's some real deep bits, particularly like round here, around his face, and I'm going to colour that in. There's a section, look, that's quite dark. And it just helps to define those bits of strands of hair. You don't have to put the black in if you don't want to. I just think it does a good contrast. I hope my wittering, somebody commented and said that they hadn't heard that word for a long time and it brought back memories, so that's nice. It was nice to hear that. Yeah, I hope my wittering is not boring you and it's making sense. Okay, so I've put the black in. Now I'm going to go back in with the deepest of our grey, the darkest of our greys, and I'm just going to blend out that black, any areas that it needs just a bit of refinement. Okay, then we're going back in with the light, cold grey 4, and again just going back over that in any areas you feel just need filling in or blending out, really. Okay, and then in with our lightest and just make sure that that shows up and it doesn't look white. There's a little bit of a curl up there, isn't there, that I've missed out. So let's fill that in while I'm here. And then all we've got, then the next part of the video will focus on his pipe. Alright, I'm going in with my dark again. My dark is grey. And I'm going to bring out, because we will do his hat, obviously it's going to be a luxury red. So, okay, then cold grey 4. So this will show up. I know it doesn't look much at the moment because of the grayscale on the hat, but it will show up. And then in with the black. Now it might be an idea, because you're going to colour the red hat in, to leave this bit until after you've done the red, because it could smudge it. Normally I would not, but I've just blindly blundered in and not even thought about it. But if you guys are following along, wait till after you've done the red hat to do this bit of hair. There. Okay. Alright. Let's focus on his pipe before we zoom out and have a look at what we've done. Okay, so I've got 3 colours. I have got walnut, and then I've got nugget, and then I've got brown ochre, all polychromos. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the lightest as we usually do, which is brown ochre, and I'm going to fill the whole thing in. I wanted it to look like a clay pipe, you know, like a traditional. Let me just centralise you a bit, there we go. So I'm just going in lightly. So it even looks effective just colouring over the grayscale in this book, actually. So if you fancied a book where you just did straight colouring, I'm sure you could get a really good effect with just that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my darkest, which is the walnut, and we're going to pick out those dark spaces. So I'm running along this edge with walnut. And I'll just keep turning my pencil to make sure that we get to keep the point. Okay, and then we're going to fill this part in. So I think you're kind of getting the gist, aren't you, of how I'm managing this grayscale. And it's not intimidating. I hope that I've shown you that it's not intimidating. Okay, now we're going in with nugget, and we are going to go over the walnut and bring that out like we do with all the other blends. And we're going over all these sketchy dark lines with nugget. Works really well with the walnut. Okay, and then we're going to fill the rest of those dark lines in with that, with our nugget, and blend out that line of walnut. There we go, and then we're going to go back in with our lightest colour, which was brown ochre, and then just go over all of that and blend it all in. There we go. I like it. I'm just going to deepen up with the walnut those dark areas again, just so we get that really good contrast. Could even put a little bit of black in there to bring that out, and then go back over it with the walnut. Okay, back in with nugget. Sorry, just trying to. It's quite a long pipe. What is Santi doing smoking anyway? Maybe it blows bubbles. Oh dear. Okay. I'm going to leave that bit a bit lighter. And I've just gone over the line. There we go. Oh, and it rubs out brilliantly. Okay, let's come out and have a look where we've got to. There he is. Isn't he spectacular? I just love him. So, I'm going to go off and I'm going to plan and make sure that I get the colours right for his hat. And I'm presuming this is a little pom-pom on the end of his hat, and then what we've got left is the ornaments, a little bit of smoke, and I was thinking about putting the yellow ochre around him, because I'm assuming by this page this is where he's just been caught, you know, and he's saying shh, you know, just before he goes back up the chimney, it says there. So yeah, so I was thinking about doing a little sort of yellow ochre and fading it out. We'll see. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I'm raring to go. I'm ready. So let's tackle this hat, shall we? Now I have to be very careful with the order. It took me a while to work this out. I don't know why. I'm not having the best of brain days today. Okay, so I've got 4 colours, and I've got dark red, magenta, permanent carmine, I hope your light's not in the way, and pale geranium lake. And that's what I'm going to use for his hat. So let me bring you in. Okay, so I'm going to take the lightest of our colours, shifting stuff out of the way, which is pale geranium lake, and we're going to do what we usually do, and we're going to put a light coat over everything. Now this becomes our highlight colour. That's why I always put on images like this, I like to start with the light. I don't know if I could say hand on heart that I always do it, but what's his hat there? But I like to put the light on, because the light colour first, because it gives us our highlight, and then it helps. You'll see in a minute, if I keep you in camera, that it helps to for you to work out where everything is, particularly in a very dark image like this. So I need to be careful of that strand of hair. That's hat as well. I haven't missed hair. That's still hat. So you're just going to have to be very careful around that strand of hair, whether you've coloured it or not. Okay. So we just keep going. It's quite a big space, and I could have used my pastels for this. I don't know why, if I'm honest, that I chose to do it in pencil. However, for you guys, it's nice to have that consistency, so you've got the same materials being used. And what I would say is, any of my colour alongs, really all I ever do is choose dark, medium and lights of the same colour family. I think at some point we will, like if you use the Pablos, and let me finish what I was saying, I'll get you all muddled. What I'm saying is I only ever use dark, medium and lights of the same colour family. So like this, we've selected reds. There is a magenta in there, but that's I'm just going to use to deepen up the red, because I wanted it to be very dark. So you could, what I'm trying to say, if I can concentrate for more than 2 seconds, I told you my brain's not in it. What I'm trying to say is you could use any set of pencils. Any set of pencils. And I'm using reds. So find yourself the 4 colours, dark to lightest, that blend well together. Test it on a scrap piece of paper. I do. And just, does it blend? Do they look like they're part of the same family? Or is there, going to be a stark contrast? You don't need to have polychromos to be able to follow along with this at all. Just find similar colours in your set. That's it. So the Prismas are great for skin. To be honest, I haven't used the Black Widows for skin. I've used my pastels, as you know, for skin. They work amazingly. There's some really great colours in there. So yeah, just have a good look at your set and choose the colours that you think go together. Swatching helps for definite. Be careful around his hair. So you can pick up your swatch book and you know what colours you're choosing. So that's what I was trying to say, yeah. Don't feel that you can't follow along if you don't have the pencils I'm using. Okay, so that's our lightest. I'm going to put that up there. And then I'm going to go in with our darkest, which is dark red. Okay. And we're going to, guess what? You guessed it. We're going to pick out all the really dark areas around his hat. We're going to fill those in. Simple as that. And I hope, what I was trying to say is I hope that I've shown you that colouring in a book like this, because I looked at it and thought, oh my goodness, that is gorgeous, but how do you colour it? It's actually not as intimidating as it looks. In fact, this is easier to cut, in my opinion this is, of course, is easier to colour in than line art books, because it's all laid out there for you. There's nothing for you to worry about. You pick the colours you want to use, you pick the sequence of colours and how they're going to go, and just relax and enjoy the colouring. And you just follow from dark to light. Oh, I knew I had something to tell you. Yes, very exciting. I've just had an email from Johanna Basford's news letter. And if you're not subscribed, go over and subscribe and you get all the latest updates. Now, she has just emailed to say that because of the way things are at the moment with COVID and how, you know, people are going to find it difficult to see family members and whatnot, she's released an advent calendar free. So, tell me your thoughts. I want to do the Colour in Heaven one. We could do one in the Colour in Heaven and then we could do one in Johanna Basford. What are your thoughts? Because I think that would be so much fun. And it's free. So that would open it up the daily colour along, the daily Christmas countdown to everyone. And I know I had a lovely subscriber, bless her, whose magazine has been lost in the post. And they've sent a replacement, but because of where she lives, she may well not get it in time, and that would be such a shame. So I would really like to do the Johanna Basford's one alongside our Colour in Heaven one. Let me know what your thoughts are, because they're only tiny images, and I think if we do one out of the Colour in Heaven magazine and one out of Johanna's, I think we'd probably be talking about 20-30 minutes a day. And I just think it'd be so much fun, you know, for everybody to be able to join in. And it's free. And it's Johanna. So what more can we ask? Right, I'm just going to deepen up this bit. Right, now, just checking you were in shot. Yeah, so excited. When I saw it, I was like, oh, no way! We can all do that together! Okay, I'm just going back over and deepening that up. Right, now, that's our darkest. I need to leave that there. I'm going to take Magenta. Now, Magenta is very purple compared to the reds we're using, so I'm just going to use it to literally to deepen up that red. So very sparingly, but back over where it is just the darkest. And it just helps, I hope you can see, to make that a really rich, beautiful red. So just in your very darkest spots, otherwise the purple will show up. I mean, you could always go in with black and darken up your reds, but this is a fun way of doing it. And I think you'll agree, well, I hope you do, that that has turned that into a very deep, beautiful, luxurious looking red. Because Sandy has elves that make magical things, and they're not going to make him cheap quality clothing. There's no bargain basement clothing here for Santa. I've so enjoyed doing this colour on with you. It's probably one of the ones that I felt most comfortable with, even though the page was a bit intimidating, the colouring page, and I've had the most pleasure out of, I think. But as I get more and more comfortable chattering and wittering on as I do, I think I will get more and more enjoyment out of what we're doing together. And I hope that's beginning to show up for you guys too, that confidence is building. And that is down to you lot. It really is. Right, that's magenta. That's our darkest. And then we've got dark red. Okay, so we're going to come in and bring that out a little bit. Go over what we've already coloured and bring that out. Do you know what I'm just thinking? I'm just thinking whether this should have been fur. But the rest of the hat looks the same design on it. Well, it's too late now. But you could, there is an option there. If you chose that you wanted that front bit to be fur, you could. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but I think it's because the pattern is exactly the same on that bit of hat as it is there. And this is, if you look at the pom-pom which represents fur, that's how fur's been drawn. So I'm sticking with my original plan. It's a bit late now unless I put acrylic paint over it, and I'm not about to spoil the book doing that. But certainly if you're colouring along, you could do it the same way we do the pom-pom, which I haven't decided on how I'm going to do that yet. But we'll get to it. Okay, just going around with this deep red, bringing that, going over the last two colours and bringing that colour out. Okay. Just turn him a bit so I can get to everything. So I think, if I'm honest, I'll get away with the fact that I haven't done further. Well, it is what it is. I told you I was having a brain freeze day today. I don't know what's going on with me. But it is what it is. So, and I'm pleased with that. It doesn't look like hideous, I don't think anyway. But yeah, certainly pay attention that if you want that front bit to be white, then don't do this part. I just want to make sure I bring it out enough. Okay, then we're going to go back in with our permanent carmine, and this is where we bring out that highlight. So go over the whole thing. And this is where we get the proper like Santa colour. Santa red that we know. See, I didn't know that Santa originally didn't look like this, Santa Claus. It was the Coca-Cola depiction of Father Christmas that gave us this red image. I didn't know that. See, now I'm colouring it in, I can see that that bit should have been white. And I'm an idiot. But it's too late now. I could put some flecks of white in it to make it look like that front bit's furry. We could do that. That might work, mightn't it? Follow the lines and just put some white Posca pen on it, or jelly roll. Just so it looks like it's red but it's furry. I don't know, we'll see. I think it's better to have it coloured in the wrong colours looking okay than fluffing it up, but it might just bug me that much, folks, that I have to put those white flecks in. Okay, so I'm just going to come back, go in this way now, so it covers up any white marks. Yeah, I'm such a doober. How did I miss that? Oh no, look, see? On the front cover it's red. Haha! I was right. Yes, it is, look. Ah, okay. Well, that's okay then. That's put my mind at rest. But certainly if you wanted to do that white, I think it would work perfectly well. And even to put some white flecks in there would work. I'll try, and if I don't like it, I'll wipe it off and let you know. There. Isn't that cool? Isn't he lush? There's an old word as well, lush. Right, lightest, darkest. I think that's how it went. Okay. I'm just filling in any little white spaces that I've got left. And then I'm going to go back in and just make sure our deep part is deep enough. See, I think now the paper is beginning to say in certain points, no thanks, don't want any more. I need to slow down. I don't know why I'm feeling like I need to do everything at 100 miles an hour today. Okay, right. Okay, then I'm just going to go back in with a touch of the magenta, just to make sure I'm happy with how deep those lines are, the darkest bits. Okay, so you get the drift. I don't need to keep going on camera. I might just make sure I've got no white bits left and go over with the magenta on the hat when we come off. Okay, right, now Christmas stars, I'm going to do them orangey yellow. So I've got, let's line them up. See, this is a good example of what I was saying about colour family. So let me bring it up and try and get it out of the light. So I have got cadmium orange, dark chrome yellow, and dark cadmium yellow. Okay, so taking our lightest, which is dark cadmium yellow, I'm going to colour the star in. Can you see? Certainly can tell the difference when the polys first go on the paper. They lay down beautifully. But like I said, do be careful with your layers. Just do them lightly, because there is a point on this paper that they're just going to say, well, as any paper, but it's just going to say, no, I've had enough. Right, next colour is dark chrome yellow. I don't know if you can pick that up. And we're going to go in around the dark area. And just bring that out. So this is our middle colour. So we can afford to come out. I'm just going to leave a centre of that lightest colour, like a little circle. And then I'm going in with cadmium orange. And we're going to do the same, but stick to the edges. And really deepen up those nice orange colours. Back into the medium orange, blend that through, leaving our little circle in the centre, and then back in with our lightest and go over the whole thing for blending. Now if you want a more stark effect, you could go in with a deeper orange to go around the edge if you wanted, but again I like to keep that sketchiness. So the other star over this side will be done the same, and I'm going to do this little bauble in the same colour as his gorgeous hat. So I will go off and complete that little task. Let's move out so we can see how he's getting on. Here he is. I will go off and complete that little task, and we'll meet back up when I decided how I'm going to do this little pom-pom. And we've got the smoke to do and then the background, and we've got a complete image. See you in a sec. Right folks, look at him, all his splendour. He's so cute. I really love this image. Just before we carry on with the colour on, I printed off the calendar that I was telling about, Johanna Basford's, just so you could have a look. Let me zoom out, and I'll tilt you a little bit so we can get it all in. So this is page 1, and somewhere around here, this is number 1, the beautiful candles. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's really easy, quick gorgeousness for Christmas. So we could easily incorporate this into our countdown to Christmas. And there's page 2. Just adorable little images. Where's the 25th? Let's see, 24. Oh, there is no 25th, which is perfect. So we could do that last one together Christmas Eve. And they're just lovely images. I'd really love to have a go. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to do this as part of the colour on. We can still do the colour in heaven, but wouldn't it be nice to do this one too? So we'd be talking about, I don't know, half an hour video a day maybe? Let me know what you think. Tell me your thoughts. Okay, right, we've got glare going on here. This is that, I've got a plastic, it's an inking sheet which I use behind my pages, and it really helps. Okay, so I thought I'd crack out the pastels for this next bit. If you don't have pastels or you don't want to use them, don't worry about it. I've got a mid-grey and a very pale blue. Let me zoom in. I've got a mid-grey, so in this case it's blue-grey. So if you do have the crayons, maybe that would work, because this is quite a pale colour. And then I'm mixing it with powder blue, just to get an even more of a blue-grey. And I want to do his pipe smoke. So I'm literally going to, as we normally do, take my light blue, and I'm going to follow the pipe smoke. And I'm just lightly going over it. And I'm going to leave the centre because we will be able to blend it out, but I want it a bit lighter in the centre of that smoke, if that makes sense. Okay, light blue, done. Now we can always add pencil over the top of this to add in the detail should we want to. And then I'm going to go in with this blue grey. I'm sorry, did I say it's from the Derwent pastel pencils from the 72 set. Yeah, so I'm just going in with some darker spaces, going in over the darker spaces I should say, and these two will blend together and they make a beautiful, beautiful smoky colour. So I'm literally just, oh excuse me, I'm just trying to pick up those lines. There. Okay, I hope the camera picks up this deliciousness. Right, I'm just trying to find get my scrap piece of paper. Just want to check that my tortillion's clean. So it's just a paper tortillion. I brought a great big bag from Amazon. And I'm just going to blend that in together. Now, if at any point we feel that this is too dark for pipe smoke, we can add the titanium white that you get in the set, and that one would knock back the colour. But I actually think that that might work very well. Let's see. Okay, I think we need a bit more colour. I've been a bit too conservative, haven't I? Right, a bit more grey. But that's the beauty of pastels, is we just keep going over until we're happy. And then, like I say, if we decide we need more colour, we can select some pencils that will give us a subtle effect too. Let's bring that down a bit. Okay. Right, ready? Let's blend it out. Want to blend that all out into almost nothingness. Okay, so what I am going to do, because it is very pale, I like the grey's perfect. I'm going to take the lightest polychromos, the lightest blue polychromos that I've got. Let me have a look. Oh, I've got all sorts of colours here. So we've got the sky blue, which we used in his eyes. So I'm just going to give it a quick turn in the sharpener. Here we are. And I'm going to go back in very gently, just to give it that blue tinge that I wanted. I could have chosen a darker blue pastel, to be fair, but I really want it to be smoky instead of blue. I need that blue tint that you get from like cigarette smoke, but I also equally didn't want it to look like his beard or his eyebrows, and so I think it works well. I think we just have to have a little bit of blend time. There we are. Okay, so that's our pale blue. That's the palest blue I think polychromos do, if I'm correct. Yes. So then let's use, sharpen it up, the very pale grey that we used on his beard, for the underneath of his beard. So, oh, my camera doesn't like these pencils. Warm grey 1. There we go. Let it refocus. Okay, and then we'll just blend that in. And that's almost a perfect match for that, the grey and the pastel set. Gives us a little bit more control. Okay, let me brush that off. Let's see what that's like. Yeah, I quite like it. You could even add, let's be brave. Let's see, what other greys do we have? We could add, that's cold grey, I want warm grey. Let's try warm grey 4. And just down the bottom here, let's just try. Just deepening up some of those curls. There we are. Now, what I'm going to do is, put that back there, I'm going to erase this bit around there. I don't like how far it's come out. There we are. Get a bit of a brush. A little bit too far out there as well. Okay. There. I like it. Now the plan was to do the same with his pom-pom down here. Only, let me readjust the camera slightly. There we go. Oh, it keeps tipping back, doesn't want to play. No, you don't need to see my pyjamas. Nobody needs to see that. So the plan was to do the same as the smoke, the pipe smoke, on his little pom-pom. We can add more blue into this, but where we get the brush strokes of the fur, I'm going to put little strokes of black in. So, let's try putting our pale blue down. I've missed a bit of hair there. How annoying. I will go back and put it in. I'm going to try and leave the centre white. And if we don't like it, we can add to it, but I just want that illusion of brightness. Right, and then we're going to put in, so that was our, what did we say that colour was? Powder blue. Then where have I put my, see? My brain is completely dead. It's right in front of me. What is going on today, folks? Okay, and then I'm going to add some random strokes of grey in there. Like I say, I don't want it to merge in with his beard. And I just like the blue to give it that hint of white, if that makes sense. Right, I'm going to go back in and deepen up the blue. Just to ensure that we definitely got enough colour down there. See, this paper takes the pastel so well as well. Okay, let me find my tortillon. Look, do I have to have a tantrum today? I can actually feel one coming on. I can't do anything today. I don't know what is going on. I'm sorry, folks. I'm all mash-handed. Okay, so I'm just going to blend that in. So we'll bring the colour into the centre, but it will just get lighter as it goes in there. So that's perfect. There we are. Okay, then we're going to take my brush, and I'm just going to clean that off, and then we're going to go back in with the sky blue, and we're going to put flicks of blue in it. You know, like when we did the mice hair in the last colour along. Just like that. Some flicks of blue. And that's all it needs to be, because we're creating something that's supposed to look furry. And they're not particularly tidy either, are they, pom-poms, let's face it. Let's go up into there. Okay, a bit more. Okay, then we're going to take that, what did we use, this one? Warm grey 4. Did I say 5 last time? And we're going to flick that in. I hope it's looking fuzzy. Oh, we'll deepen up round that corner. Okay, so that's those two. I'll put those there just in case I want to reuse them. And then, you know, the warm grey, the very pale warm grey that we used in his beard. Warm grey 1. I'm going to flick that out of the centre. Now I like it, but I think it needs a little bit more colour in the centre, so we're going to flick blue in. To hell with it, folks, eh? Just going to flick that pale blue in. Yeah. And then the grey, which is the warm grey 4. And just bring it all together. I didn't like the bare centre. There we are. Right, now I'm going to take the... Where am I? Oh my goodness, I'm in such a pickle. Where is everything? I'm looking for my, there it is, Polychromos white, and we're just looking a bit scruffy in that centre, so I'm just going to blend that in. And just put some streaks through there. That corner really definitely needs darkening up. So I'm going to put some more blue in. And there. So just any dark places, I'm just filling those in. Sorry, I've gone all quiet on you, haven't I, folks? That's because all my excitement has come out earlier. And then the Johanna Basford. Now I'm tired. It's been a day of excitement. Okay. I'm not sure I'm happy with it, to be honest. I'm faffing. But sometimes it's got to be done. I just need to neaten it up. It's looking really shabby. I want it fluffy, not shabby. There we go. I think it's beginning to come now. Just have to keep lightly playing. So you could actually just do this with the colours that we've just used. You wouldn't, excuse me, you don't necessarily need to even put those pastels down, but it was an option, so, and I was experimenting. So I'm going to take the Polychromos black and I'm going to flick very carefully. This is an experiment, so I'm going to see if it works. I'm going to flick very carefully. So I can't even see the lines now. Just some random little flicks of this black. I don't know why. I think sometimes fur does have a little bit of black in it, but it just gives it a bit of differentiation, doesn't it? What do you think? Just still feels really messy. So I'm going to do a light coat of this blue. And that will still keep the little strokes that we've put in. Excuse me. But it will hopefully tidy it up, because from where I'm sitting it just looks a mess. Okay, then I'm going to go in with my white again. So I'm just trying to smooth out some of those crisscross lines that I'd put in, because they just look really, really scruffy and unblended. But I'm getting there now. I'm happier with that. There. What do you think? I quite like it. Let's come out and have a look at him. What do you think? I might deepen up that smoke. What do we use? Cold Grey 4. I'm just going to just really deepen up some of those areas. It looks a little bit nondescript, if that makes any sense to anyone at the minute. I know smoke is not black and prominent, and it can be, but pipe smoke does have that blue hint to it, but it is also smoke, so I'm just going to fill that in. There. Oh, that feels a little bit better. Yeah, I'll stop faffing about and put the colour on. Sorry, let me bring you back in, just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going back over that grey with the sky blue. I told you, my head is a mess today. I'm happier with that, that's better. Right, let's come out. Now, I will finish that tiny little bit there. If it's annoying anyone, I do apologise. What colours did we use? Let me go in with... oh my goodness, sorry. Can't clear my throat, maybe have a drink. I'm going in with Cold Grey 4, just to fill that in, because it's dark down there and I'm not really sure what it is. So we're just going to fill that edge in. There. Okay, so I'm sorry if that really annoyed anyone. I know how painful that can be when you're watching a video and you think, colour that bit in. And I did that on my last video. Now what I'm thinking for the background is I want the walls, like I said, to be a yellow ochre, and that I would definitely do in pastel pencils. But because I haven't done any more of the book, I'm not entirely sure that's the way I'm going to go. So I'm going to leave our picture, I think, at this stage. Because until I've done... I'm just filling in little gaps that I can see. Until I've done an image that has the walls in it and I can see how it works and what colour to use, but I'm definitely leaning towards a yellow ochre colour because I think it will go with everything. I'll leave him as he is. So another image created by us. Please share it. I've loved seeing people's work. It's just amazing. I had some posts on Facebook, and Emma Colours 2020 posted on Instagram again, and it really warms my heart. I love it. So, a couple of questions. Let me know about the Johanna Basford we can do alongside each day with our Colour in Heaven issue, which I'm not even going to attempt to pull out because I'll have an avalanche. Let me know about that. And I'm hoping that I will be able to get the Tim Jeffs flip through done at some point. I'm just trying to think when the best time to do that would be, because yeah, I don't know. I'll have a think about it, but I'm very excited about it. And I ordered the I think it's Wild Cats one, so we'll be able to do that together. So yeah, leave me comments about the calendar. Let me know if you're going to have a go at this, and when I have decided what background colour I'll do, I'll pop it in another video so that you know what colours that I used. I hope that's okay, but it will be Derwent pastels, more than likely Derwent pastels, or it could be the Faber-Castell pastel sticks, and I'll let you know. Okay, my lovely peeps, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining me on this colouring journey. I love this book. It's amazing. I'm going to let you go. Take really good care of yourselves, guys. And until I see you very soon. Bye-bye.